proud. You are moving forward. You are making a difference. And I wanted to remind you that your work will pay off. It is paying off. Even if you have those moments where you think that nothing is moving forward, it is. Look at those volume points. And I know that each one of you are contributing to that. Your attitude is reflecting your growth. So congrats, team. I am honored to be here with you guys. I cannot believe that. I was just talking to Miss Cole a second ago, and we were just in awe that the Lord just blessed us with an opportunity like this to be surrounded with such amazing, positive women. And it's just so cool that we all landed on the same team because we're going to make each other better. And the way that we can make each other better is to sharpen one another in the ideas of presenting some business strategies and some plans moving forward in December. So hopefully you guys are on the edge of your seat because I am, and I wanted to share some of the ideas I have to grow our business in December that will carry over in January. Okay, you might have heard this. I know I talk about it quite often, but expanding your network. This has not necessarily been mentored to me, and so I am just learning it as I go, and it's kind of fun doing that trial and error. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about growing the amount of people that we are in front of. Expanding your network is not just the friends that you have on Facebook. If you can see this graphic, I have a little over 2,000 friends on Facebook. That might be a little or that might be a lot compared to your current friends. But I actually am encouraging you to expand your network. If you were able to listen on to last month's call, or if you were on last month's call, you know that I talked about making a list. I talked about how that list can really transform the way you operate, how that can really streamline your attention, how that can really help you be much more efficient. And if you have not already done that, I'm going to repeat a little bit of that on this call because I did it verbatim. Oh my goodness, ladies, I did it by the book in November, and it helped me pull off Success Club, even in the driest of weeks where I thought nothing was going to come out of it. Working from my list really made a difference for my month of November. So I'm going to talk about what your list is. Personally, my interpretation of a list is not just your Facebook friends. My interpretation of a list is somebody who you've contacted since you've been a Beachbody coach. And the reason I say that is because, I mean, we can't lie. Since you've been a Beachbody coach, everyone you talk to, you kind of have a different impression. Like, okay, I'm Facebooking you, and we're friends, but hey, I wonder if you're ever going to join a challenge group. And so not everyone is a walking challenge group or challenge pack potential, but I did want you to add somebody to the list who you've already been in contact with. And I wrote out there a personal goal of mine. You know, I might want to increase my list by 20%. You could set your own goals. So I'm going to talk about how to make your list, or really how I made my list, and you can pick and choose what works for you in this. So what I did, I started out with a pen and paper and I wrote down a bunch of names. I quickly realized that was going to take a whole heck of a lot more time than I wanted. So I did my list on a spreadsheet. Now, you can choose which one you want. I have an image here of the actual list that I work from. It is not pretty. It is not complicated. Literally, it is like very elementary. If you can see this graphic, you see in column A, I have first name. Column B, I have last name. Then I have the date I contacted them. And then I have a little blurb of what I said or what we did. And then I have their email if they gave it to me. So it's really simple. Well, I wrote out every single name that I have talked to since the day I started as a Beachbody coach. And I started then, like I said, because from that day forward, I was trying to really rekindle relationships and develop myself as a fitness leader or a fitness example in their life or on our network that we're sharing that they're seeing. So I went back through all my Facebook messages, typed out their names, and actually, I came out with quite a bit of names. I have like almost 1,000, which is pretty significant in my opinion. Some of you might only have 100. That's totally fine, but you got to write them down. So you can even do the memory jogger to start your list. Like I said, go back and write down the names of the people you've ever messaged or friends you want to reconnect with. How to work from your list? It's going to save you time and it's going to be more efficient. So I'm going to talk to you guys now really quick about how I am working from my list and how I wake up in the morning and I am able to knock things out in an hour, hour and a half, and not stress about the rest of my day. And then I'm able to do the extra work when time comes up, instead of letting your notifications dictate what you're supposed to be doing that day. Because personally, I think that stresses me out, and that kind of slows me down. And I want you guys to be efficient, because that means you get to spend more time with your family. So working from a list, there are 3 things that I make sure I do every day when I talk about my list. So here is the second tab of my spreadsheet. Again, super easy to make. You do not have to do it this way. You can do it however you want. This is just how I have found that works best for me. So I track my daily activity this way. Each day I make sure I do 3 connections a day. And what that means is I go back to the list on the previous page. Okay, you see this? This is the first tab. So I have this whole entire list. It's alphabetical. And I go down one by one, and I just say, hey, I see that we haven't chatted in a while. Hey, I just saw your cute picture of your baby boy. How old is he now? And I just catch up. Hey, how are you? This is so repetitive, and it's silly that I'm going over it again, but I guess I felt like I needed to, because I needed to remind myself how easy this is. So on column B, if you could see that, my reconnect list, I make sure that I reconnect with 3 people a day. My column C, those are the 3 invites I have a day. And that is where it gets pretty complicated, because I actually did not realize I wasn't inviting 3 people a day to my challenge groups. I was actually justifying my activity by, oh yeah, I messaged 3 people today, I invited people. But really I wasn't inviting people, I was just saying, hey, how are you? And the conversation took 2 weeks to even follow up. So I am literally writing down the names of the people that I'm inviting to a challenge group. Well, you might be asking yourself, how do you invite people to a challenge group if it's just like this awkward conversation that you just started yesterday? That is the problem that I had, and I finally kind of figured out a rhythm or a pattern to get beyond that. So I actually have quite a bit of unopened messages in my Facebook message right now, but that is because I don't follow up with every person every single day, because if you're messaging 3 people a day, that's a lot of people to respond to every single day, especially if it's an ongoing conversation. But what I aim to do is to eventually turn those opened conversations into an invite. So we'll say, how are you? Good, how are you? How's your kids? What are you doing these days? Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, this is where I live. And if the conversation just dies off, I'll end it with, so great catching up with you. If by the way, I have this fitness page, or hey, I saw that you were talking about you enjoy running, or I just find a connection and I throw in there, hey, I lead this online fitness accountability group every month. It's super fun. Let me know if you'd ever be interested. And so, from there, I'm not going to go verbatim, but it really can be that simple. I have learned personally that it's very, very helpful to do these 3 invites a day when you are consistent with your online Facebook post. If you're not consistent with your Facebook post publicly, nobody's going to be interested in your invites. How I was able to get all of these invites within 7 days is because people started messaging me once I started inviting people on my public wall. So I would post a before and after, or I would say, hey, don't forget deadline here, deadline there, Facebook, I'm having this challenge group. I would promote it, let's say once every other day, or 3 times a week. I would promote my challenge group coming up. Well, a lot of these people responded and they sent me messages, and I count that as a daily invite. Okay, so 3 reconnections, 3 invites, 3 coach invites a week. So it's not every single day. It's not too overwhelming, because again, coaches are even harder to invite than challengers sometimes. And so that's how I personally track it. You guys are already familiar with the other tracking options, and some of you are thinking, oh no, don't say it's not so. Don't tell me I have to do the business activity tracker. Really, I was in your shoes. I whined about it. I didn't want to do it. So I created my own way of tracking. There's no magic in the business activity tracker other than the idea of tracking your progress. So I know from personal experience that conversating with Brittany Leggett, she does everything the business activity tracker says. Now, if you guys do not recall, Brittany Leggett's story is very impressive. She started with Beachbody in January 2013. Do you know that today she stands number 35 in the whole entire company? So, if you were saying boo, then there's something to this. You cannot say boo if it's working for her. And so I definitely think there's, no girl, don't even feel bad. I totally am understanding you. Just kidding. So the business activity tracker does work. But if it's complicating for you, if you don't want to follow this spreadsheet form, if it's just overwhelming to you because you don't want to put 100 zeros on it, that's fine, because there's another option now. And I'll post this in our group. But here's another example of a activity tracker that was created from Shay Stanford's team earlier today, and it's just another way that you could be a product of the product you can invite and grow. So it's the 3 vitals, super helpful. Again, I encourage you to make a list, track your progress. The second option of track your progress, you need to interpret that however your personality decides. Personally, I'm tracking mine like this. You might want to track yours like this, or you might want to track yours like this. But the key to growing and preparing for Q1, for the first quarter of 2014, is to track your progress this month. You have got to start being accountable to yourself, because then you can lay your head down at night knowing, hey, I did exactly what I needed to do today to move my business forward. There's no questions, no stress, no last minute, oh my gosh, I wish I could have done something just a little bit more, because you know that you're going to be doing the right things that the leaders ahead of us tell us are successful. And I trust that. Another exciting thing that's happening in December, as if you guys don't already know, is P90X3. Okay, I'm going to post the talking points for P90X3 in the Moxie crew so you guys can check it out. I also posted that on my blog earlier, so if you are on my blog, follow my blog, or on my email list, you might receive that on Thursday, but just read about it because I posted a little video. The YouTube video is 2 minutes. Send it out. Send it out to whoever you want. P90X3 is on sale this month. It's a challenge group on sale. It's $180, $63 on sale. So, start the countdowns. Do the teaser. Start promoting. It's an awesome, awesome program. It's kind of like the flagship product of Beachbody, and that's kind of how I market it. That, hey, you know you've heard of P90X. You know you've always wanted to do it if you haven't already, and here's your chance to do it. 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, 90 days. It is here for their taking. My personal plan is to start a challenge group January 6th, and I'm going to start inviting now. My plan is to start inviting, posting 3 times a week now to prepare for the January 6th challenge group, because the earlier the better. People are going to certainly take off and not even think about exercise or fitness during the week of Christmas. So, in order to not stress out and bite all your nails off like me and some other people did the last week of the month to get Success Club, start inviting now. And you can even do something creative. I know some of you guys are doing, New Year's, New You. You're doing a little black dress. I've even considered doing like a 30-minute theme where people have to do T25 or P90X3 and they compare results. And they're both 30-minute workouts. I mean, it's super fun. You can get creative. But January is going to really, really boom. But all year long, we've been talking about this first quarter. But if you're not preparing now, then your first quarter is going to be really disappointing. And I do not want that for you guys. I do not want you to be discouraged. So you have to work now to earn those paychecks starting in January. And I just said that. Make sure you work and you will grow next month. Post 3 times a day is my suggestion. One about health and fitness, reconnect with 3 people on your list, invite 3 people to the next challenge group, 3 times a week about coaching. All of this is repetitive. I don't want to be repetitive. I just wanted to say it was a revelation for me. I have been talking about it all the time, but have I actually been implementing it verbatim? Not until November, and it paid off. So I have a daily, weekly, and monthly checklist that you can even follow. It's a survey that I created on Google Docs, and I'll send you that link. Make sure that you do the BAT, whatever way that you want to track, and you do your memory jogger. Make sure you work from a list. Some additional ways that I wanted to motivate you guys for the month of December, because Christmas is the spirit of giving. For those who have the most volume, we just celebrated all of November's volume, all of the previous volume that we've seen in our team. Woo! I know, Laura, you love incentives because that's your personality. I love it. I'm going to give away a $50 spa gift card to the person who has the most accumulated volume in December. And for anyone who hits Success Club in December, you're going to be entering to win a free date night. Now, I chose those two things because I value those two things. Oh my goodness, those two are like my love language, that and gummy bears. But I figured giving away a 5-pound bag of gummy bears was not really a good idea. But that's really what I want. But anyways, spa gift card, date night, is yours for the taking. Totally your choice. I wanted to incentivize you guys. I wanted to say you're awesome. I believe you can do this, and somebody's going to be walking away with some fun prizes. So my call to action for you, I want you to make a list. I want you to work from that list for 1 week. Actually, I want you to do it for more than 1 week, but give it a shot. Do it for 1 week. See if it helps you. Tweak what's not working. Continue to do what's working. Always sit down at the end of every week and say, what is my success for the week? What is my failure for the week? Third thing, make a plan to grow your list. Expand your network. After this call, or even right now, go on your Facebook. See how many friends you have. Actually, if you want to do that right now, type in the text box how many current friends you have in your Facebook. I would love to kind of assess where we're at with our team and some of the things that we need to grow, whether it's obviously adding new friends or expanding our network in other creative ways. But just figure out how many friends you have. 744, that's great, Brittany. And expanding your network, making sure you're in front of more people. Because you might, the days that you might get frustrated, it might be because you've exhausted current people that you're watering, and in 90 days they might come back to you. But if you're going to be planting a bunch of seeds and watering them periodically, you're just going to have to find more seeds to plant until the other ones start to grow. These are great numbers. I love seeing that because I really wanted to see the majority of our team having around 1,000 friends each. These are great numbers, and so make sure that of those numbers you guys are listing, make no excuses, and do not say, well, I have 1,032 friends, but I've only contacted 300 of them because I know the other 700 are not going to care about this. Well, how do you know? So make sure that you make your list, include everyone on your Facebook. I have here the 2 links that you can click, and I posted them in the group already, but they're daily, weekly, monthly checklist if you guys want to check that out or send them to your team. Also, 10 steps for a strong foundation. I covered that in the last team meeting, and I actually would love your feedback on that. So if you haven't already clicked on that link and checked out those 10 steps, I would love for you to look at that, submit it when you understand the foundation that could build for your business, and then also as a leader for your team, send that to your team to see if they can follow through with those 10 steps, to see if they understand building a strong foundation with this business is to do those 10 things and then to follow the daily, weekly, and monthly checklist. Awesome. Congrats, Kristen. Hitting 1,000 likes. Woo! Way to go.